Click here for complete groups and tee times for the opening round of 2017 Blue Bay LPGA. Candy Kung, Michelle Wie, Leanne Pace 956 AM. First tee, a four-time winner on tour, Candy Kung looks to return to the winner's circle this week at the Blue Bay LPGA and pick up her first win on tour since 2008. Kung nearly broke through in China in 2015 when she finished tied for second. She will play the opening round alongside Michelle Wie, who is coming off a tie for 46th last week in Japan. Wie has had some success at Blue Bay where she finished tied for third in 2014 and picked up another top 10 last season. Leanne Pace, 2014 winner of the Blue Bay LPGA, returns to the tour this week in China. Pace teed it up last week on the Ladies European Tour where she took the early lead with back-to-back opening rounds of 66, but with weekend rounds of 72-76, she settled for a tie for 27th. XIYU Lin, Mel Reid, Lizette Salas 1007 AM. First tee, XIYU Lin returns to action this week in her home country of China where she is making her first start since September's New Zealand Women's Open. Lin will look to turn around what has been a difficult season, having made the cut in one of her last 10 starts on tour. She could find a spark this week at GN Lake Blue Bay Golf Club where she finished tied for 5th last year. She'll play the opening round alongside Mel Reid, who is also making her first start since New Zealand. She planned to compete in last week's Ladies European Tour event but was forced to withdraw when an old back injury flared up. The rookie will look to finish the season strong and pick up her first top 10 finish of the year. Lizette Salas is the third and final member of this group. She's found some great momentum late in the season with a top 4 in 4 of her last 5 starts. Salas finished tied for 36th at last season's Blue Bay LPGA. Nelly Korda, Jessica Korda, Anna Nordquist 10:18 AM. First tee sisters Nelly and Jessica Korda were grouped together on day 1 at the Blue Bay LPGA. Nelly, who has had an impressive rookie season, is coming off her 4th top 10 of the year with a tie for 5th in Malaysia. This is her first appearance at the Blue Bay LPGA. Jessica nearly won this event last season. She came from 7 strokes back to start the weekend to hold a share of the 54-hole lead with eventual champion Minjee Lee. Jessica's final round, 71, earned her a runner-up finish, her best of 2016. Jessica arrives in China off a tie for 62nd at last week's Toto Japan Classic. Anna Nordquist will play round 1 alongside the sisters. She's coming off a third-place finish last week, thanks to a final round 66 which included an ace at her third hole of the day. Last season, Nordquist finished tied for 23rd at Blue Bay. Maria Jatan Newgarn, Inkyung Kim 10:29 AM. First tee, another pair of sister, Maria and Moria Jatan Newgarn, is also grouped together on day 1. Last year, Maria nearly won at Blue Bay, where she stood on the 72nd hole with a share of the lead. But the long hitter, looking to win with an eagle at the par 5 18th, pulled her tee shot into the water and settled for a third-place finish. The former number 1 ranked player has struggled over the second half of this season since ascending to the top spot in June. She finished 70th last week in Japan. However, her sister Moria has continued to trend upward this season and arrives in China off a tie for 5th last week in Japan, her 10th top 10 finish of the year. Maria continues to put herself in position to capture her first win on tour with a top 10 finish in 4 of her last 5 starts. Inkyung Kim is the third member of this group and making her first start on tour since withdrawing from the LPGA Cab Hannah Bank Championship following an opening round 75. Kim is already a 3-time winner this season and earned her first major title in July at the Ricoh Women's British Open. Shan Feng, Minjee Lee, Sung Yun Park 10:40 AM. First tee, the tour's most recent winner, Shan Feng, successfully defended her title last week at the Toto Japan Classic. The victory was her second of the season in addition to 9 more top 10 finishes. She'll look to continue that momentum this week in her home country of China where she is making her first start since 2015 when she finished tied for 14th. She will play alongside defending champion Minjee Lee, who will look to pick up her first win of the year this week at Blue Bay. Lee is coming off a tie for 5th last week in Japan where she notched her 10th top 10 of the year. New world number 1 Sung Yun Park is the third member of this group and, like Feng, is already a 2-time winner this season. Park has already locked up the Louise Suggs Rolex Rookie of the Year award and currently tops the money list. She's also ranked second in scoring average in the Rolex Player of the Year standings. She'll have a chance to make up some ground on leaders So Yeon Ryu and Lexi Thompson, who are not in the field this week.